Hello, and welcome to our interview series with the wonderful people who teach at the Community College of Baltimore County. The series is held in conjunction with the art exhibition that features the artwork of these teachers at the gallery at CCBC Catonsville. And today we're sitting down with Jessica Walton, who is one of our wonderful teachers, and we're going to dig in a little bit about her art practice and stuff. So first off, what led you to wanting to be an artist or have art in your life as like a main essence?
I actually I didn't start making visual art, at least in any kind of serious way, I'd say, until a little later. I actually studied music when I was younger. I studied flute and piano and voice, and I was really much more kind of dedicated to music when I was younger. And then I ended up going to college to study archaeology, and I was very much interested in archaeology, and I did some digs, and that was a wonderful experience. But I ended up moving to New York in like my early 20s, and I took a I ended up working at an art gallery, and then I ended up working at an art school. And one of the perks of working as I was an administrative assistant in an art school is that I could take classes for free. So it was at the School of Visual Arts. So I took some continuing ed classes, and I'd done stuff visual art a little bit as a child, and my mom, I do mostly fiber art, and that makes sense because I used to work, with my mom in her craft studio. And so I think I loved materials and archaeology. I loved the dirt, and I loved like getting into process and materials, but I didn't study art. I actually ended up going to the Catonsville Community College after that, and I decided I wanted to study visual art. So I kind of made a switch in, I guess, pathways and education anyway. And I started, more seriously kind of, being excited about visual art and making art at Catonsville Community College. And that was a wonderful experience. And I had amazing professors and mentors there. And I and it was also, I think, very therapeutic for me at the time, because of just personal reasons. I think I just sort of invested, a lot of energy and into art making. And I started out being mostly interested, I'd say, in like drawing and sculpture. But when I went in, I transferred to the Art Institute of Chicago, and I just fell in love with fiber. And I've always loved process, I think, and material and history and all of that kind of, I think, feeds into my work as well. So.
What led you to wanting to teach?
Yeah, I think when I was thinking I wanted to teach younger kids. I remember when I think that was maybe a more practical kind of decision on my part. Like when I went to Catonsville Community College, I remember talking to Paul Glasgow, who used to be the coordinator of the department, and just said I wanted to, teach art K through 12. But I think, one thing that I was very fortunate in is that, I went to Catonsville Community College, and then I transferred out. And then when I graduated from the school, the Art Institute of Chicago, I was fortunate to be able to, Paul Glasgow hired me to teach adjunct at Catonsville and the other community colleges around. I think that was before it was CCBC. I really loved doing that. And it was, I think it's, it was in some ways a practical thing. I needed to make money, and that was a way of making money. I ended up teaching while I was going into grad school. But I also have found that it's very rewarding. And it was very challenging for me at first, because I think I've learned to be a more talkative, verbose person as a teacher. Teaching's a little like performing, I think. And I had a hard time. I was very shy, I think, at first, but now I find it incredibly rewarding. In particular, I love helping students I love the diversity in the community at CCBC, and I love helping our students experience what I felt privileged to receive from the art department at the community college as a student, because it was incredibly important to me. And being that person now helping other students have that opportunity and to transfer is incredibly rewarding. I think that's one of my favorite parts of teaching. And I love learning from students. I mean, I love teaching art. I teach a lot of art history classes, and I love talking about art. I love art history, and I think I approach art history as a maker, but I find those conversations in class to be really rewarding and exciting, and it lets me talk about what I love to talk about, and do what I love to do for my job, which is great. I feel fortunate for that.
Lovely. We're fortunate to have you too. It's great. If you had to describe your artwork to someone who had never seen it and you couldn't show them examples of it, how would you describe it?
Well, the most recent kind of work I've been making are these masks. They started out as more sculptural pieces, but now they're more masks, and they're probably a little scary. I don't know. I think masks are kind of, I love working with like the body. Like I've always been interested in the body in my art, I think. And I like the sculptural process of making something that goes on the body. And it's kind of interesting wearing one of the masks. It makes me feel different. It makes me feel like it's a way of hiding, I guess, in a way of becoming like another being. So they're kind of, the process of making them is very time consuming. It's a process called coiling. It comes from a basketry technique, which is used all over the world for baskets, but also it's been used for mask making. I learned the process while I was in a fiber class at the Art Institute of Chicago, and we did it just more for just making like a bowl kind of shape, but it, so so the process of making them is very labor intensive, and is something that I love about the work. How to describe them to someone who sees them, that was your original question. I guess they're kind of scary, but hopefully they're scary in an interesting way and helps to explore kind of the masks that we wear, and they're also kind of, I think, sort of maybe grotesque, maybe a little bit fanciful, maybe a little over the top and colorful, and a lot of, and hopefully they show my love of material, because I love material and fiber. So
Thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting. This is wonderful, and it's just a great project for me to learn more about the teachers at the college, and I hope everyone watching also learned a little bit and are excited to see the works in the show. So, thanks for watching.
Thanks, Emily.